Hello and welcome. My name is James Ross, the Multimedia Editor at SBC Media, and today I have the pleasure of welcoming Adam Bielinski, the CEO and co-founder of iGamingNuts. Adam, welcome. How are you doing today?
Yeah, thank you very much, James. I'm good. Thank you very much. What about yourself?
I'm good. I'm good. It's nice to have you on. We've been talking back and forth, obviously with me and Victoria, trying to get a date for this, and doing the research into iGamingNuts. It's an interesting conversation, which I'm excited to have with you. Um, but I must start by saying, you launched this company with your brother and your friend as well. But just on the brother angle, I'm a twin. I'm a brother myself, and I've got a twin. How was it kind of co-founding this with your brother?
Yeah, many people ask this question because very often, like when you have a family company and also with your friend, very often it might end up with the end of a relationship. But so far, so good. I mean, I think we have a lot of things in common, and we think in the same way. That's why
Mm,
it's way easier for us to run the company. So, yeah,
yeah,
very good so far.
brotherly love. You can never beat it.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So, like I said, today we're going to be talking about iGaming Nuts. We're going to be talking about your initial launch period because this is it's a company name in itself in general, which is new to the industry. Because it was launched this year, got rebranded this year. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about kind of the initial hurdles you've had to overcome following that rebrand, the successes as well, because it's not all about the hurdles you overcome. You've had successes, and just the firm's kind of plan, both short term and long. Um, and let's just kind of get on to that kind of rebrand. And correct me if I'm wrong here. You rebranded from, is it Mahalo Media? Is that correct?
Mahalo, that's in Hawaiian
Mahalo.
language. Mahalo, yeah, media.
Perfect. Okay. Mahalo. Oh yeah, it makes sense. Mahalo Media to iGaming Nuts. I just want to ask, like, how did you kind of navigate the identity shift internally and externally, and the reason behind choosing the game iGaming Nuts?
Um, to be honest, it wasn't a traditional rebrand. The iGamingNuts name had already existed within our internal ecosystem for 5 or 6 years. And while the official name was Mahalo Media, we had long used the iGamingNuts branding on our main site at industry events, conferences, and even like day-to-day conversations. So the rebrand was more about aligning our legal identity with the name and brand recognition. Um, we had, yeah, that we had organically built over the years. So it wasn't like, as I said at the very beginning, it wasn't additional rebrand. The name already existed within our internal ecosystem.
Okay, that's interesting to know that it's already existed. Um, so then when you brought this name to the forefront more than if it's already existed in the background. So were there any kind of those operational or cultural changes that accompanies, like I said, that transition? We'll say it's not a transition now of a rebrand, but that transition from that identity being in the background now being at the forefront.
Yeah. So I think there was no major operational or cultural shifts.
Mhm.
Even if anything, I mean, the transition brought more clarity, and it simply became easier to the team to say where we work, because before they worked sometimes for Mahalo Media, but at the conference they said they are from iGamingNuts, and when they talk about the project on particular market, they were saying the name of the project. So it was a mix, like we really didn't know where we work.
Okay.
So now it's yeah, simpler, and the change felt just natural because we had already been living under this iGamingNuts identity for years. So yeah.
Okay. That kind of excludes my next question because I was going to ask about kind of the brand continuity and how you manage that. But I mean, if it's already been there in the background, there's a continuity for you. But as you've now brought this into the forefront, and I believe was it February did it launch this, or is it
Yeah, February we launched the UK brand. Yeah, I
UK
mean
brand?
project. Yeah.
Yeah. So in that, would say we're in the first 90 days post. We can't call it. Well, we shouldn't really call it a rebrand, but post realignment or maneuver to the forefront. We'll keep going. We'll
Yes.
keep going back to that. Um, what metrics or milestones were kind of important to you to validate this change in direction?
I mean, as such, our focus was on the key KPIs, and which is quite typical for the affiliate industry, which is primarily usage traffic growth and FTDs. And as I said, this is a standard metrics in affiliate marketing. But yeah, we also use them for early indicators to validate the effectiveness of the brand and ability to drive performance, and to have also answer if you want to go further with the project. So these are the main metrics that we are using so far.
Perfect. And with those metrics and the KPIs you've mentioned, you've been within them first 90 days. What lessons have you learned from the early days under this new four-fronted iGamingNuts that have shaped your 2025 strategy? Because obviously, when you launch something initially, you have this idea, and these metrics, these goals might change, obviously, depending on the first 2-3
Yeah.
months of launch.
In our industry, everything is changing so fast. So yeah, that's true. I mean, we the lessons we are closely tied to our work on the new platform. So, for example, we already seen how different markets respond to various types of content, and in the UK we gained, but because UK was first one. So in the UK we gained like valuable insights that led us to adjust the content strategy for the when we were entering Italian market. So it's mainly particularly regarding which content should be indexed first, and how to align more closely with the user behavior and search intent in local contexts. So that was a lesson from the UK that we earned, and we used this knowledge when we were entering the Italian markets, and probably we're gonna use in when we want to enter the new markets.
And it's interesting to hear, and we obviously entering these new markets is very critical for your success. But just looking at kind of the affiliate network, the affiliate sector, just in general, it's a very, well, let's not be around the bush. It's a very saturated area. It's a very saturated market. How do you kind of envisage the future role of the affiliate networks evolving within the regulated iGaming space? Certainly when you have so many more kind of restrictions and you have the increase of AI technology, which we will come on to soon. I mean, that AI technology itself is going to play a big factor in the affiliate space moving forward. How do you kind of navigate and envisage a future within that future role?
I mean, yeah, as you said, the space is evolving rapidly, and but I still think that the future lies in offering like real value to the users, no matter how you do that. That's the most important, and it can be through tools, it could be through data, like unique content that goes beyond that, like the basic comparisons or basic information about where to go, where to play. So our investment focus is on building like technology that enhances the user experience and strengthens our brand identity. And so of course there will be like AI, it will be like new tools, new things coming in. And like a few years back, we would not talk about AI at all, or like and yeah, 7 years or 8 years ago, we would not talk about media buying, or other, or like even social media to that extent. So it is changing, but as I said, like I think that giving this real value to the users, no matter like how you do that, is the most important, and then this is what we try to stick to.
Perfect. You mentioned already regarding some of the tech and the AI technologies which you're looking. Well, you briefly mentioned like that's going to be part of the future. But can we just dive a little bit more into that? Like, what is next for our gaming nooks when it comes to your proprietary tech, to your AI, to your user personalization? Like, how is that going to evolve in the foreseeable future?
Um, yeah, I mean, like we focus way more now than it used to be in the past on the tools that like empower our users to make this informed decisions. So we there's a lot of people in our company that play or bet themselves. So I think we understand these tools, and even though they don't always drive acquisition, they be like this long-term brand credibility and the trust. And especially on our home market in Poland, like we've already developed the tools that are tailored for Polish regulations, which is kind of a unique and different user behavior. And to do that, you need to be like you have this in-depth knowledge of the market. So now we try to gain similar knowledge on the markets that we are entering. That's why we like invested in people that also play in casinos or in sports books on these markets to have this knowledge, and they help us to improve the technology that we have and the tools that we have.
Mm-hmm. And if we take it back a little bit, you mentioned markets that you've already entered in, markets that you're looking to enter in. Well, you've hinted at them. Can you just kind of talk about any upcoming verticals or markets that you're particularly excited about either entering or kind of, disrupting that market a little bit?
I mean, the casino vertical is kind of a new territory for us. At least in the terms of our own company, because like we used to work in the different companies that we already work on this vertical. So it is exciting to approach it with the fresh ideas and this user first mindset. This is what I said before, that we try to first talk with the people that play themselves to find out what they need. What would they need from the website? What would they need from the tools? What kind of information is important to them? And in terms of the markets, we are planning to enter the Spanish market in early 2026. So we're already laying the groundwork to ensure that we are ready with the right team and localized strategy. So now we do the research, and the plan is to enter the market in a few months.
Okay, I mean, the Spanish market is a challenging market in itself. So interesting to see how you'll navigate all those regulations within that market. And kind of on the similar vein, like what are kind of the unique challenges that you face when tailoring content for difficult markets and emerging markets like Latin America compared to the more mature ones like the UK, Netherlands, Spain?
I think that it's not that important if it's mature or immature. I mean,
Okay.
that the most important. I mean, I think for us the biggest challenge was just the localization, and I don't mean the language, but this cultural nuances, the regulation, the user's behavior, and of course they are different on mature markets and different on immature markets. But it's more that it's different on every different market. And our key learning from that past was that we use the same content strategy across different markets, and that deliver like a short-term success, but it's not sustainable, and we fail at the end. That's why we build like new local teams from day one. And for this iGamingNuts.com project, we invested significant time in research and like hiring people from that particular markets that know the market the most. They know very well. Yes.
Yeah, that kind of leads on a little nicely to my next question. So obviously localization is critical for any market you enter in, whether it be Latin America, or, you have your Brazils, or even just different European markets. Different segments. If you go to the US, you have different states where you have to kind of localize to each state. Very important, but kind of what makes your SEO and affiliate strategy different from the competitors? Because we mentioned earlier, it's such a saturated market, and localization. Every company, well, in the sector, affiliate or not, has to have localization kind of at their forefront. How does your strategy then differ from the competitors in markets full of affiliates?
Well, it's hard to claim a uniqueness in such a competitive space. So I think many companies out there are doing impressive work, and actually what worked for us is a consistency, it's a long-term thinking and playing fair. And I mean, focus on this sustainable growth, um, and user value. This is the philosophy that served us well. So again, like when you ask particularly about SEO strategy, I think it's more like that we are using long-term strategy. So it's not that we can, like, just give you an example, like even though sometimes we have the chances to get hundreds of links, I mean, because it might help, right? But our strategy is to get only the good links and be like to have them in natural way. And sometimes we see that other websites just like are better in rankings, but then we find out that it's only for 2 weeks or 2 months because they use this short-term strategy, and after like half a year they are down there and we are still on top. So I think that's the strategy that we are using for many years, and as I said, yeah, that served us well.
Quality over quantity then is how the approach.
Yeah.
Good stuff. That kind of answers my next question of like what makes iGamingNuts that top seed from your view, unless you have something else you want to add to that, because I feel like that's a perfect summary.
I mean, yeah, as I said, like this long-term strategy, but also I think honesty in our relationships, and both with the users and the partners, the operators. So this deep knowledge about what you want to find out on our website. This is kind of this honesty with the users. So we don't overpromise, and we try to really deliver the best knowledge for the users as we can, and playing fair also with the operators. That also like work for us so far very well, and I want to keep this.
Perfect. I've only got 2 more questions for you, Adam. One of them is we'll go around the hypothetical route, and then the final one is we'll ask about iGamingNuts' future, a bit more long term. But the first one, if you could rewrite the affiliate rulebook for the iGaming industry, what would you put on page 1?
I didn't know there is a rule book already, but let's say okay, I can rewrite it. I mean, I would say fair play. And while affiliates, like I was at the EGR, this top affiliates summit in April in Marbella, and I run a panel, not a panel, like let's say a conversation when we talk about the transparency or lack of transparency from the data that we get from the operators. And many other affiliates were saying, yeah, very often we don't believe the data. We know that, yeah, they close their accounts or they take out the user, our players. So we talk about this lack of transparency, but there is also responsibility on our side, on affiliates. And still some affiliates are using this questionable tactics to boost visibility and without considering long-term value, or using like dodgy techniques. So I think that this transparency and playing fair play on both sides would be the most important. And I would love to live in a world that looks like that. I know it's hard, but I would like to. Yeah, that's so if I could rewrite it, I would put like playing fair play on the first place.
What legacy do you hope iGamingNuts creates in the affiliate marketing space over the next 5 to 10 years?
I mean, my goal, our goal would be, I think, more build a company that people are proud of to work for. So I want this legacy to be a place where people are like felt safe, motivated, empowered to grow. And of course, we aim to create tools or websites that would be like widely recognized and respected by the users. But still, I think that this internal culture is more important to me, at least, than our external success. So I would be like super happy if people after 10 years would say that this was a really 10 great years that they work for the company, and they have good memories. And I would say that it's more important for me than the external success.
Perfect. Well, like I said, you're still in your infancy, you're still within the first 12 months of iGamingNuts being at the forefront instead of in the backdrop now. So I wish you all the success for the remainder of the 12 months, and I look forward to seeing how far iGamingNuts can go in the mid to long-term future, because I will be keeping an eye out. But Adam, thank you so much for joining us today. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you very much, James.